We have no choice but to eliminate those who cling to unreasonable ideas of justice.
Someone must put a stop to this cycle of the strong trampling the weak.
The solar star consumes even the darkness itself.
Yet we have the strength to scale the walls between us, to reach out our hands in friendship so we can open our true hearts to one another. That's how we win!
My teacher.
Both sides of time are revealed to you. What shall you do?
Hello everybody, Megazord X here, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting collection reflection video where I take the time out just to go through my whole entire gaming library. It could be a game, could be a limited edition, could be a console, but today we're going to be talking about none other than Fire Emblem Three Houses, because if you know anything about me, I love myself some strong Fire Emblem though. I mean, there's not a lot of games that are in the strategy RPG series that I just really resonate outside of Fire Emblem. I would say the other one might be Triangle Strategy though, but I mean, that's made by Square Enix though. But outside of that, this is my main bread and butter series when I want to play a good, solid strategy RPG. And this one right here for the Nintendo Switch, between this one and Engage, this one's my overall #1 favorite. I have a lot more fond memories with this one, especially since the story's so much better in this game than it is in Engage, but I digress though. But that's what we're going to be talking about here in today's video though. So if you hadn't already done so, make sure you go and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump straight up into this video. Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now, this game right here means quite a bit to me, though. I remember when this game came out, it was like, what, around the year 2019 or so? I mean, I think we were supposed to originally get it in 2018, but I think they delayed it out, so it took a little bit longer to get this game, though. But Nintendo went all out in terms of the marketing on this game, because the one thing that made this game unique in comparison to any other previous Fire Emblem game that came before it was the whole fact that you had this social aspect in terms of like a community with you going to school. I guess, yes, you're the character Violet who happens to be an instructor and you're teaching all these different students though. However, the class that you get to teach is determined solely by your choice. I love when strategy RPGs implement the idea of, hey, you get to make the decisions for almost every little thing that you get to do up in the game outside of this traditional combat and stuff, like your interactions and your social links with whoever you have to be engaging with. That's one thing I really like within, strategy RPGs though. And obviously you get to choose between 3 different houses that you really want to go through and be a part of. And your 3 different options are the Black Eagles, the Golden Deer, or the Blue Lions, all led by Edelgard, Claude, and Dimitri respectively though. So at least whenever I was going through this game during my original run, I looked at all 3 of these people and I was like, you know what, Edelgard seems to be my kind of woman. Like, I think she's the one that can really lead this pack strong for all these students I'm teaching and be able to actually do all the things I want to accomplish and stuff like that. Now obviously those are the main 3, I would say, leaders for each one of the classes though. However, each class has a whole bunch of other characters that are strongly associated within each one though. So in terms of the Black Eagles, you did manage to have over here on the side, you had Hubert, which was like basically her right hand man. Then you had Ferdinand, you had Linhard, Casper, Bernadetta, Dorothea, who was like one of my favorites. Dang, she's fine. And then you had Petra, another strong, fabulous woman right there. She was definitely my crit killer right there on my team though. But yeah, I looked at all of them and I was like, you know what? This looks like a diehard team right here. Like, I can go the distance with this team though. So that's the one I managed to choose though. I remember in like the hubbub in terms of like the lead up to launch, everybody was like casting their stakes like, hey, are you Black Eagles? Are you Golden Deer? Or are you Blue Lions? Like, everybody was picking the side over there. They had such a good run up in terms of like the social media marketing up in this. It's probably the most I've seen any Fire Emblem game get advertised just in general to the lead up of this one. Yes, maybe it's because we finally get to manage to have another Fire Emblem game on console, because if remind you, the previous Fire Emblem games we managed to get, like Fire Emblem Awakening, and you had Fates, and you had Echoes, all 3 of those 3DS games, they were all portable. So this is the first game that we managed to have that's hybrid. So technically, yes, it is a home console game though. So yeah, there was a lot to actually, drum up hype and excitement on this thing though. But, in terms of my run, I started off with Black Eagles, and then I think my second run I did Golden Deer, and on the third run I managed to do Blue Lions. Now, if you happen to choose one of the other two, such as like Golden Deer, you did manage to have characters such as Lorenz, Raphael, Ignatz, Lysithea. Lysithea was a good magic user. Oh shoot. Then you had Marianne, you had Hilda, who Hilda was really fine as well. And then you had Leonie, who was like really obsessed with your father. I was like, oh, come on. I was like, what's wrong with you, woman? And then obviously you had the Blue Lions led by Dimitri and his right-hand man being Dedu. Then you also had Felix, Ash, Sylvain, Mercedes, Annette, and then you had Ingrid. I love Ingrid's, pre-time skip look, but then after the time skip, I was like, ugh. But yeah, so the main emphasis in this one is you get to go through the whole entire story arc, at least for the first half being in the school phase. So you get to go through teaching all of this stuff and, getting close with your students and, managing to teach. Because it's one of the cool things that they did well in this game is the fact that, naturally, your students are going to want to go through their classes and involve in, whether it be like a cavalry unit or they're considered to be a class of Mercedes or mercenary, or that might be considered as a mage. You can actually change the path of where they want to go depending on the stats and stuff that you manage to get to teach them though. So it's a really nice little balance and a little change and tweak from past Fire Emblem games where it's like pretty lot where this character is going to be able to evolve into X kind of unit though. And then also along with the school arc stuff, you had a lot of different other social elements that we never really seen too much in the previous Fire Emblem games. Like you were able to cook, you were able to, garden, do some plants and stuff, do a lot of fishing. I did a whole bunch of fishing up in this game. And, there's a lot of other myriad different events that you're able to do, such as like, being able to go to the bathhouse and stuff like that though. So yeah, so there's a lot of cool social elements that actually allow you to get higher supports and allow them to be able to learn certain skills that can help them evolve or change into different classes to suit whatever kind of play style you had within, the Fire Emblem game. That was just purely the first half of the game. Then the second half of the game obviously is the war arc and stuff though. Now you have to be strategic with the stuff you did in the first half because you could recruit other class members from other classes to be part of your team though. However, if you didn't manage to recruit all the people you wanted to in the first half of the story, when the second half of the story comes, then you could potentially be part of their enemies and stuff like that though. So obviously in terms of the main overarching story though, once the war arc starts, you have Edelgard over here who really hates the church. And, the church that really hates her at that point, though. And for reasons I won't go too heavily or too deep upon if you hadn't already played the game, though. But yeah, you had these two kind of going at each other, though. So if you didn't happen to choose or side along with Edelgard and stuff, then yeah, she might be your enemy versus one thing. But if you happen to do the right things, and what was it? There was like 1 month of the year, I think it was like the month of February and stuff. There was like some special weird conditions to be able to actually truly be a part of Edelgard's team in the second half of the story and stuff. And if you did manage to do that, then yeah, it's not going to be Edelgard as the enemy. It's going to be more so the church and stuff. And at face value, those are the main two. But then you have other groups and organizations such as like those who slither in the dark. You get a heavy emphasis story on that if you happen to choose the Golden Deer as well though. So the story is all there. Yes, you do have to go through and play like each one of these 3 different routes in order to kind of get the overarching story, to understand everything and everybody's backstories and stuff. But it's not necessarily required. But for the diehardists out there like me, you're going to get a lot of replayability out of this game. I think I put somewhere in the north of like 200 plus hours while I was going through and playing this game from all the different routes and stuff. I think I did every route possible with the exception, I think, of the church route. I just kind of looked up the ending on that one though, because that would have been like the 4th run. And I was getting burned out at that point though. Keep it real with y'all though. But not even all the story though. They did manage to drop out some DLC within the game as well though, in terms of the Ashen Wolves, which gave you access to 4 other playable characters as well though. And those ones are as follows. You had like Yuri, you had Balthus, you had Constance, and then you had Happy. So it was nice to be able to use these 4 characters. And if you did manage to complete the DLC stuff for that, you were actually able to use them within the main story, especially the second half of the main story when you're kind of going through there though. But all right, that's the kind of, overall arching story, basis, ground play, how the game kind of operates and stuff. However, there's also the gameplay. And in terms of the gameplay, man, it's just so sublime. It's everything that you would like and appreciate within the Fire Emblem series, though. However, with you being able to change your classes and stuff, and different units can be other units that they wouldn't typically normally be. It's so great. You have battalions and stuff like that, so you're able to actually hit these other enemies and stuff like across like a wide spread on your battle map and stuff. And then also you have like these beasts and stuff, or usually bosses sometimes that will actually have more than just one health bar. You have to knock them down like maybe 2 times or 3 times on a given map and stuff. And then obviously you have either seize the moment, escape from the battle, defeat them within X amount of turns. Like when the Death Knight shows up, yeah, you don't want to mess with the Death Knight unless you got my girl Lysithea, which you know. But yeah, there's a lot of different win conditions that you would normally have within any kind of given Fire Emblem game that actually show up here, though. But I think the one thing I really do love the most is the fact that how no matter which group of people you manage to start off with, whether it be the Black Eagles, the Golden Deer, or the Blue Lions, all of these characters are going to be relatable to where you're really not going to forget them. I can't say how many times in past Fire Emblem games you might remember your main character. You might, like, for example, if I were to choose Awakening, you might remember your main character. You might remember Prom and Prom's sister. But outside of them, you might have a few other people that you might be able to remember quite well. And the rest of the characters, unless you just really gravitated towards one character in particular, they're kind of forgettable. But Three Houses, the way how it's structured and stuff, with the first half of the game being the school art, you were able to really relate with these characters and stuff. So, years from now, you can show me a picture of one of these characters. While yes, you might not necessarily maybe remember the name right off the bat though, but if you show that picture, I'm like, yes, all of the memories are starting to come back though. And at least for me personally, I think some of my personal favorites were definitely Dorothea, Petra, and Edelgard, all from the Black Eagles and stuff. Lysithea was cool from Golden Deer as well though. But yeah, those were some of my most favorite and most memorable characters though. But like how I said earlier in this video, I am a big Fire Emblem fan, so I didn't just buy, just the regular edition right here. No, 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 no. I also managed to get the limited edition for this, and yes, I have like an acrylic kind of plastic thing, kind of keep the dust off and stuff, because I actually went through and managed to get every single Fire Emblem limited edition or special edition thing since I would say Fates onward though. I managed to get almost every single thing. So I got this. I got Fire Emblem Echoes and stuff. I got the 30th anniversary thing. And then I have Fire Emblem Engage and stuff. So I'm just really attached to this series though. And I have every single game from Fire Emblem 7 onward. So the one that's originally wasn't on the GBA that we managed to get via here in the West. Onward, I have every physical Fire Emblem game from that point forward though. So you know how big of a Fire Emblem fan I am right here though. But there's a lot of cool stuff that was also included within this limited edition as well. Like you got the music, you had like the calendar and stuff, which the calendar system was like a whole nother element of this game in terms of like prioritizing what you want to do in the month, like whether you want to train, where you want to do like train, get some extra experience, where you want to do certain activities that kind of raise the efficiency of your desired class that you might want to achieve, and then any other kind of myriad of different events, be able to get some extra money and stuff, buy equipment, all of this stuff. Yeah, prioritizing all of this stuff was really good. I think the only hindrance of this game is when you want to do multiple runs in this game, yes, you do have to go back and do first half of the story arc in terms of the school arc stuff. That was probably the biggest drag in terms of the replayability. But once you get to the second half of the game, in terms of the war arc and stuff, you did have different final bosses for each run. So that made it different, pretty unique and stuff. And you had different character interactions and stuff, depending on which characters you had in your party. And then also, everybody loves the support units and stuff, like those extra conversations you manage to have on the side. That's something that makes Fire Emblem pretty unique. They did manage to get a little bit of inspiration, I would feel like, from Persona, and the way how they kind of handle it with, like, I guess with the UI and stuff. Like you had like the text down here and you had like the bigger icon over here, like in the bottom left-hand corner and stuff. So, a little inspiration from it though, but I always love the Fire Emblem support. So this kind of lets you get a little more attached with the characters beyond just what you kind of see within the main story beats as well, though. But yeah, Byleth overall is a cool character. I wish he wasn't necessarily like a silent protagonist though, but I mean, he works. I like him better than Aaliyah and Fire Emblem Engage. That's saying a lot though. But overall, Fire Emblem Three Houses is such a great game. The story is there to boot. The replayability is there. You have all of these different options and stuff that actually evolve the Fire Emblem series well beyond what we kind of had within previous games. I like how they pull elements from like Echoes and stuff where almost everything is voice acted, and elements from Fire Emblem Fates where yes, you did have a lot of good different replayability and different routes and stuff, and you were able to actually choose different options and stuff that actually affected the gameplay and stuff. I just love having control of all of your actions within a strategy RPG. But y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below all that you think about Fire Emblem Three Houses. Are you a fan just like me? Or, you know, let me know if you're a fan of any other kind of Fire Emblem game out there. It could be anything from, shoot, could be all the way back to the original NES version all the way up to where we're at right now within Engage. So it won't take too much longer until we manage to get like Fire Emblem Genealogy of a Holy War or something like that. Or if this video happens to come out and they happen to announce it at that June Nintendo Direct, then oh shoot, I'll be thrilled though. But I don't know if that necessarily happened or not though. But yeah, that's gonna basically do it in terms of this video right here. So if you really like this, make sure you're gonna hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things video game related I feel like talking about and discussing. So remember y'all, until our video I make next, see y'all.